Global IP Trust. Presence. Inventions that changed history, Part 2. Transistors. A criminally underappreciated innovation, the transistor is an essential component in nearly every modern electronic gadget. First developed in late 1947 by Bell Laboratories, these tiny semiconductor devices allow for precise control of the amount and flow of current through circuit boards. Originally used in radios, transistors have since become an elemental piece of the circuitry in countless electronic devices including televisions, cell phones, and computers. The amount of transistors in integrated circuits doubles nearly every 2 years, a phenomenon known as Moore's Law, so their remarkable impact on technology will only continue to grow. Magnifying lenses. Magnifying lenses might seem like an unremarkable invention, but their use has offered mankind a glimpse of everything, from distant stars and galaxies, to the minute workings of living cells. Lenses first came into use in the 13th century as an aid for the weak-sighted, and the first microscopes and telescopes followed in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. Figures like Robert Hooke and Anton van Leeuwenhoek would go on to use microscopes in the early observance of cells and other particles, while Galileo Galilei and Johannes Kepler employed the telescope to chart Earth's place in the cosmos. These early uses were the first steps in the development of astonishing devices like the electron microscope and the Hubble Space Telescope. Magnifying lenses have since led to new breakthroughs in an abundance of fields, including astronomy, biology, archaeology, optometry, and surgery. The telegraph. The telegraph was the first in a long line of communications breakthroughs that later included radio, telephones, and email. Pioneered by a variety of inventors in the 18th and 19th centuries, the telegraph used Samuel Morse's famous Morse code to convey messages by intermittently stopping the flow of electricity along communications wires. Telegraph lines multiplied throughout the 1850s, and by 1902, transoceanic cables encircled the globe. The original telegraph and its wireless successors went on to be the first major advancements in worldwide communication. The ability to send messages rapidly across great distances made an indelible impact on government, trade, banking, industry, warfare, and news media, and formed the bedrock of the information age. Antibiotics. A giant step forward in the field of medicine, antibiotics saved millions of lives by killing and preventing the growth of harmful bacteria. Scientists like Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister were the first to recognize and attempt to combat bacteria, but it was Alexander Fleming who made the first leap in antibiotics, when he accidentally discovered the bacteria inhibiting mold known as penicillin, in 1928. Nowhere was their effect more apparent than on the battlefield. While nearly 20% of soldiers who contracted bacterial pneumonia died in World War I, with antibiotics, namely penicillin, that number dropped to only 1% during World War II. Antibiotics including penicillin, vancomycin, cephalosporin and streptomycin have gone on to fight nearly every known form of infection, including influenza, malaria, meningitis, tuberculosis, and most sexually transmitted diseases. The steam engine. Cars, airplanes, factories, trains, spacecraft. None of these transportation methods would have been possible if not for the early breakthrough of the steam engine. The first practical use of external combustion dates back to 1698, when Thomas Savery developed a steam-powered water pump. Steam engines were then perfected in the late 1700s by James Watt, and went on to fuel one of the most momentous technological leaps in human history during the Industrial Revolution. Most important of all, the steam engine's basic principle of energy into motion set the stage for later innovations like internal combustion engines and jet turbines, which prompted the rise of cars and aircraft during the 20th century. There are countless other inventions that contributed to making the world a better place. Without these inventions, we wouldn't be living in the world we know today. Innovation has no boundaries, and great people will keep on thinking and creating new ideas and inventions for the future. These are certainly the inventions that changed history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do like, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.